Hey, what's up everyone? Crew Danny, as well as Puchoy Crew Alex. In this video, we're going to talk about some Muay Thai elbows and how to do them correctly. Okay, so we're going to cover let's say three or four different elbows today. We're going to go quickly because I do have an in-depth tutorial on the several different elbows we have in Muay Thai. But today I want to do a quick recap. Sometimes it's good for the algorithm on YouTube to redo some videos, and sometimes I might have forgotten one or two important points and you guys like to watch them. So what we're going to cover first is what we call the horizontal elbow. All right, so on the horizontal elbow, sometimes referred to as the straight elbow, just imagine from here that you're throwing a hook. All right, so let's say I throw a left hook, a lead hook. My elbow comes up, and notice how I'm on a horizontal line, all right, a straight line. So if I throw a hook, I'm not coming up like a shovel hook or curving downwards, okay? So I want to go straight. This is my hook. Same thing with the elbow now. All you're going to do is bring the hand towards your chest and expose the elbow. So the horizontal elbow, using the left elbow, is going to look like this. I'm up and I turn into a straight line. So imagine sometimes when I teach the kids, Muay Thai for kids, I teach them to imagine they have a marker. They have a marker onto the point of their elbow and they have to draw a straight line in front of them, okay? So that helps them with the trajectory of how the elbow should be executed. So once again, slowly, horizontal elbow. Notice how I bring the opposite hand up. This is a good habit to have when we do elbows. If you've trained Muay Thai, you know why. But if you're just starting out, I'll explain quickly. It's just that when you throw elbows, or any technique for that matter, you have to always remember that you're also in range to receive the same exact technique from your opponent. So to defend yourself, you have to make sure that your other arm, your forearm, is up. That way there, you can block those elbows in the inside, okay? It's different than in boxing where we protect our chin with our glove. Now the elbows are not necessarily coming at the chin level. The elbows are going to be coming across the eyebrows, onto the cheeks, all right, on the forehead, and those are going to create cuts. Speaking of cuts, there's two ways I like to teach to execute the elbows. The first one, Alex, let's show them the slashing. That's it. Imagine you have a razor blade at the tip of your elbow and you just slice right through, like you're just slicing a loaf of bread, okay? And the second one is gonna have a little bit more velocity, more power, almost like a real punch. And now you're gonna use, instead of the tip of the elbow, a little bit more of the bigger surface where the forearm ends right here, okay? So this one here is gonna push right through. Now, depending on the strategy you're gonna use, if you're allowed to use elbows in your fights, so professional Muay Thai or, for example, professional mixed martial arts, you would wanna dictate the type depending on the pace of the fight. Sometimes you'll be just slashing very quickly, and other times you're trying to create that KO punch as well, okay? So, now, lead elbow right here, and turn from the side. Right here, turn. Same thing as your hook. Think of your hook. Now you're throwing the elbow, all right? And when I use the right elbow, same principle applies as my rear hand is now I need to twist my body, all right? Don't just throw the elbow like this. Notice how I can't turn the elbow from here. It stops about 3/4, right? I need to reach right here where the target is, so I need to twist my back foot. Right, now, Alex, throw the lead elbow towards my face. I'll come down here to your height, right here on my head. Boom. And then this one, boom. All right, so that's how you're gonna throw the lead elbow and the rear elbow using horizontal lines, or as we like to call them, the straight elbows. Okay, at the end of this video, we're gonna show you on the focus mitts as well. But first, I just wanna talk about the technique of elbow number 2 for this tutorial. There's about 12 different elbows we're gonna show in Muay Thai. Today, we're gonna cover only a few of them. The second one, there's no particular order of how we teach them, but the second one today I want to talk about is what we call the downward elbow. Now, think of it as a 12 to 6, so on the clock, 12 o'clock, going down in a straight line, vertical line to 6 o'clock. So on my lead hand, I'm going to come up to the top of the clock and slam the elbow down. Sometimes when I teach the kids, once again, I like to use some different analogies, so I tell them that there's a board here, and I want them to try to break the board in half using a hammer fist effect, using the elbow this time. Okay, so lead elbow, downward elbow is gonna look like this. We'll go up and bring it down. So we're here, and on the back side, same thing. This one's gonna have a lot more power and coming down. So the target is here. In reality, we can also do it up in the air and fly up using this type of elbow and come down as such, okay? So in a second, I'm gonna show you on the focus mitts. All right, so this is elbow number 2 from the side. It looks like this. I come up and I bring it down, and on the back side, I bring it down, okay? So Alex, let's show it here, and on the right side, those are the downward elbows. Now, elbow number 3 in Muay Thai, just for this tutorial, no particular order once again, is going to be the uppercut elbow, all right? So once again, just like the punches, if you understand the basic punches in Muay Thai and boxing, you'll understand the mechanics of doing the elbows and the line of where you should throw them. So for example, when I throw a lead uppercut, I'm coming up as such, and on the rear hand, I'm coming up as such, underneath the chin. Now with the elbow, it's gonna be the same line where from the side, I come up and lift, almost like I'm combing my hair from the side like this, okay? And it kind of looks like when you cover against some punches as well. But I go straight in, and I visualize I'm raising the elbow right underneath the chin. And on the right side, of course on the right side I'm gonna have a lot more velocity. I'll be able to turn and rotate much more with the rear elbow from here, and come up, and from the front, lead elbow, always coming up in between. This is beautiful because sometimes if Alex tries to clinch me, this is where I'll stop it, right? Now I can control the clinch with the inside control, and boom, this is where the uppercut elbow can land. Same thing on the front. So if he tries to clinch here, boom, bam, uppercut elbow in the center. Sometimes if he throws maybe an overhand, see? I cover with the overhand, and boom, back elbow comes in. Or on the lead hook, I'll cover here, boom, catch the punch, and then boom, right down the pipe using my uppercut elbows. Okay, so Alex, throw that left one here, and on the right side, those are uppercut elbows, guys. All right, the last elbow we'll cover on this video is what I like to call the slashing elbow, or sometimes cut down elbow, okay? So Alex, let's show them how, facing the camera, we do the lead cut down elbow. So we raise up and we go downwards. It's almost like throwing a overhand punch. So once again, like the punches, the trajectory for the elbows are gonna resemble a lot, okay? So lead cut down elbow and rear cut down elbow. So we wanna raise up high to ensure that we go over the guard. All right, so if someone has a boxing guard just here, if you throw the elbow straight, all you're gonna do is catch the glove or the wrist. When you come up higher, your elbow is gonna go across and down above the glove or the guard and cut right where the eyebrow is. Let me show here slowly on Alex. His guard is here, and I come up and watch this. Boom. It will slash and slam itself right through his guard. Okay, same thing with my left side. I come up and boom. This is where it goes, all right? So almost like you're drawing an X, okay? So now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna catch the focus mitts so I can catch his elbows. Okay, using the focus pads, let's look at our first elbow. Elbow number 1, the horizontal or the lead elbow right here. Again. One more. Notice when we train the pads or even the heavy bag, we don't want to use the slashing effect of slicing the elbows through, because what's going to happen is you'll slice the skin off your elbow and you're not really getting the good training effect. We want to use more of a punching style power, so like shoving the elbow in or the ramming elbow. When you shadow box it, it's going to be the opposite. You're going to be slashing your elbows and keeping your hands open. That's another point that I want to address is a lot of times people are very stiff, and that's fine when you want to really put in the power. But a lot of times using the elbows, because they're shorter weapons than the punches, I want my students to always have a loose guard. And from here, boom, very loose. So that way there, the elbow is going to be thrown with a lot more speed, okay? So once again, lead straight elbow, and then the back one, perfect, okay? Now we covered elbow number 1. All right, so now what we're gonna show you is elbow number 2, the downward elbow. So technically, I like to refer to this one as the coconut cracker, okay? So why? Coconut meaning my head, because he's gonna fly up in the air and catch the coconut cracker as such, all right? So this will land on the forehead or the top of my skull, and that creates cuts in Muay Thai, all right? This is a professional Muay Thai technique, all right? But we like to train it occasionally as well. But for training, instead of always jumping up in the air, what we can do is just practice landing the elbow in a stationary target. So here, one more, last one. Beautiful. Now on the right side, of course, this is the preferred method. We're going to generate a lot more power. So right here, once more, and one more. Very good. Okay, so that's elbow number 3 for you guys, the downward elbow. Okay, let's take a look at the last one we covered, which is the slicing or cut down elbows. So on this one, I always want to make sure that I use my focus pad exactly where he's going to throw it. I don't want to use the pads as such. All right, so always in front of the target, but be careful when you're training if you're unsupervised. All right, so I've seen elbows happen, especially with this particular technique, where people will just slice open their training partner because they missed the aim and they didn't hit the focus mitt, and they went right through over the focus mitt's guard and catch their partner right on the head. All right, and that creates cut. So now I'm going to lower myself slightly just for Alex's height, and now I'm going to use the focus mitt. But notice how I use a slight angle on this one because I want to force him to use that proper motion on the cut down elbow right here. Go. A little bit higher. Beautiful. One more. And on the right side here. One more. And last time. And that is our cut down elbow, guys, using the technique of Muay Thai. All right, so there's one more elbow to cover. Like I said, there's no particular order. I just called them 1, 2, 3, 4. But technically, it's the name we want. This one is going to be the uppercut elbow. All right, so using his left elbow, what I want to do now is just place my focus pad just underneath or across my chin like this, okay? And now he's going to come up and push it up. Now on the lead side, you won't feel like you're generating a ton of power. But there's the one thing you have to understand when you throw elbows. It's not just about pushing the power in. It's about catching it with proper timing and great accuracy. And when you do this, you can catch your opponent off guard. So as an example, earlier in the video, I showed you guys when you stop the clinch and from there you throw a short uppercut elbow. That's not a powerful shot. But there's a lot of good Muay Thai fighters that knocked out their opponents using that tactic as well. So now on a focus mitt, on the lead side, it's about being nice and snappy when you throw it. Once more, and again. And on the right side, this time we're going to have a lot more power because it comes from the rear side, and he's going to be able to generate power using the torque of his shoulder, hip, and back foot. See the difference? So this is a proper elbow. Once more, and again. Beautiful, Alex. Good job. Now that we have these elbows covered, of course, during training, once you isolate each technique, you can start to make some simple combinations, maybe of 2, all right, using these particular elbows. So let's give an example. For example, here, what we can do is use a left straight elbow followed by an uppercut elbow on the rear side. Okay, so putting them together, once more, and again, One more example could also be that lead straight elbow, but coming down with a downward elbow on the rear side. So here, boom and boom. Again, boom and boom. Last time. Okay, so we can create some different combinations however you like. So technically, with the 4 elbows we covered, technically that's 8 techniques. 8 times the multitude of combinations you can do. So you can start with a lead uppercut elbow and finish with a cut down on the rear side. So the lead uppercut elbow is going to raise the chin, boom, and then wham, slash it down with the rear side. Okay, so once again here on the mitt, up, boom, and cut down, boom. Again, up, boom, and boom. Okay, all sorts of combinations can be made. All right, we can do a 30-minute video on combinations for elbows, and then we add these with all the other techniques such as punches as well. But the main reason we did this video is just to cover the basic elbowing techniques we have in Thai boxing. So beautiful. There you have it, guys. Hope you enjoyed this content on the Muay Thai techniques. Fundamental stuff, guys. Study on this, practice. When you come to class, make sure you have great technique because that's super important for Thai boxing. Leave us a thumbs up. Don't forget, subscribe to this channel for more content just like this one, and
see you guys in the next Muay Thai video.
take care.